Today I'm going to be reviewing Phillips Hue and Hue Lux light bulbs. Light bulbs for single nerds. A few months ago, I had reason to want to automate lights in my house. And so I've been fascinated by the Phillips Hue system ever since it came out. But frankly, not convinced about exactly its utility. So let me first explain briefly what it is. The Phillips Hue system is a home automation light bulb kit. It comes with a bridge, which you connect into your wireless network, and it comes with 2 starter bulbs. Mine was a Hue Lux system. Now that is a Hue Lux bulb. These are the more inexpensive of the two, and these are white only. They're LED bulbs, as you can see from their shape. They're Edison base, and they're about the size of a standard bulb. They're not, you won't have any trouble fitting them in, although they are just slightly wider. So if you have a really tight bulb fit, that might be a problem, but I haven't encountered that. It's a very pleasing light. It's a very good bright light. It's low energy usage. I cannot complain about the quality of the bulb in any way, shape, or form. These bulbs have essentially electronics. They're a bit heavy too. They have electronics inside of them that connects wirelessly back to the bridge so that you can programmatically or through the app control the light. You can, in the case of the white bulbs, you can dim them or turn them off or turn them on. In the case of the standard Hue bulb, it can simulate, I don't know what the color range is, but it's thousands if not millions of different variations of colors. And you can control that. Similarly, you can set the tone and the mood and the brightness in the room. Now, I used it for home automation. I used it to have the lights come on at certain times of the day and lights go off at certain times of the day. And you certainly have options. You can pick when it wants to come on, how long. For example, when you're turning it off, it doesn't just have to be turned off. It can fade off over a period of time. You can set it so that it randomizes the time it goes off, so that you know, it doesn't appear. Some of your neighbors aren't looking over, going, "Oh, look, 7:05, lights are off again." I don't think anybody's home. And they worked flawlessly. They're easy to set up. The bridge was easy to get going. I like it a lot in that respect. However, the downside, and there is a couple of downsides. Well, let's start with the color bulbs. I got the color bulb. I put the color bulb in. It's amazing. It's cool. It does all sorts of colors and all sorts of shades. And isn't that awesome? And isn't it completely pointless? Virtually never do I want the lights in my room to be blue or orange or yellow or any of the thousands of variations of colors in between. I want room lighting, whether it be low for sort of a ambient feeling or bright for activities or reading or whatever, but I don't want it in colors. I suppose if you were having a party, but how often do you have parties? But the other more problematic issue is you walk into a room, it's filled with Hue bulbs. Now, obviously, you have to leave them on. Right? They have to have power supplied to them. So if you put them in a lamp, you have to leave the lamp on at all times. But the light's not on because it's controlled with a wireless. So you have to go in, you have to pull out the app, you have to start the app, you have to find the icon for the scene or the light or whatever it wants, and then you have to turn it on and activate it. Now, you could easily walk across the room and turn the light on, or better yet, walk into a room and flip the light switch, and the light comes on. This is completely impractical. And you have to set it up on everybody's phone in the house, and you have to give it to the kids, so you know they can turn the lights on in their rooms. It's really cumbersome, and it's not practical for actual living space. Unless, you know, you don't care about having the lights on all the time, then sure, just flip them all on at sunset and off you go until your bedtime. But if you don't all go to bed at the same time, or you don't want the lights on, or you don't feel that you need the lights on in the bedroom when nobody's in the bedroom, then these bulbs become a pain in the rear. They're good for automation, not so good for day-to-day operations of real life. So as you saw in the demo earlier, the problem is you walk into a room and then you have to go through the rigmarole to get to your phone to get the light on. Now, if it was motion sensitive, different story, but they're not. They're not motion sensitive in any way, to my knowledge, and I'm not aware of any motion sensitive equipment. So these bulbs, you have to fiddle with a phone to get to the bones, and that takes too long. A light switch is much more efficient. So, and Philips has apparently acknowledged that. They've come out with a new Philips switch that you can mount on the wall, and it's got some interesting technology. I don't have one, but it doesn't need batteries. It generates the power it needs from the actual physical action of you working the switch. And you, of course, can program it with what scene you want it to activate when you flip the switch. Great idea. $80? Not that great of an idea. That's kind of crazy. So I won't be buying any of those anytime soon, but when they come down to $20 seems like I would consider it. In the meantime, I use the bulbs to wake us up in the morning on a timer, and if I'm away from the house, I set them up in a complicated program scheme to make it look more like there's somebody here. Just, you know, why test the alarm system when you can just try to stop people from trying in the first place? In any case, I'm ambivalent. But if you're interested, if you want colored bulbs, for crying out loud, these are awesome. If you want LED bulbs that are not the cheapest LED bulbs available, these could be very good ones too. I will add one thing in fairness to the Philips Hue system. If you put one of the lights in a lamp or a light fixture overhead that's on a switch, as I say, you do need to leave it on to use it with the bridge. But they have at least cleverly decided that the default mode is on. So, for example, if you put it in a lamp and then you turn the lamp off, right? You can no longer activate it with a Hue bridge or with the app or the website or however you want to get to it. You can't do it because there's no power. But if you flip the light switch on, the light will come on. So, in the case where you've got a light that's powered on but it's off, and you walk into a room and you don't have your phone with you, you can turn the light off and turn it back on with the switch, and it will come on. Or if they're all on and the power goes out and then the power comes back on, all those lights will come on, which you may not actually want to happen. But at least you are not completely unable to use the light switch. But if you're going to use the light switch on the lamp or on the wall, what is the point of buying an expensive computer-controlled LED bulb? And that's why I call them bulbs for single nerds. They're, if you've got time to waste and you're in no hurry, or you want to spend your time programming it to do what you want, and you can convince yourself that your routine is so dull and boring that you never break from that routine, you never walk to the wrong room at the wrong time of the day and want the light on, then, hey, these are for you. But in a family of 4, they are proving to be remarkably impractical. And those are my thoughts on the Philips Hue and Hue Lux bulb system. It's awesomely cool technology that doesn't really have a practical place just yet.